truth and light, where the spirits dance all night. The Creator gang shines bright, guiding us with all their might. Trumpets sound across the sky as we raise our voices high, praising the one most high under the OAHSPE's watchful eye. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. Harmony in every beat, our faith is concrete. Through the pages of the OAHSPE, ancient wisdom on display, teaching us the righteous way, leading us to a brighter day. With each trumpet blast, we're reminded of the past and the love that will ever last in this divine contrast. United in spirit, we uplift and hear it. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone.
Yes, family. Large up yourself, big up yourself. It's the hostess with the mostest. Select the Selah Shaloms on the 1 and 2s. You know how we do. Mic check, give me the one that comes on the corner microphone. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Peace, love, and light, family. The boy Selah Shalom on the 1s and 2s. You know how we do. Peace, love, and light, family. The boy Selah Shalom on the 1s and 2s. You know how we do.
Bittersweet herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, make sure to get your bitters. Your boy Selah Shalom, the hostess with the mostest. You know what I mean? Your boy rocking them grays today, looking like the son of man. You know what I mean? You know how we do. Just decided to get on for a hot few, you know what I mean? Holler at the family. See what's going on with y'all. I'm gonna play these disc records. You know what I mean? The FOP disc, the Hebrew Israelite disc, and then the Kemetic disc. Back to back to back. Let's run it. Yeah, looking frosty, man. Looking like the guard. You know what I mean? That's salt and pepper, like they say. Yeah, I'm an OG now and shit. Let me share my screen. Let's run the rhythm. Hold up, nigga. I forgot to share the screen. Good thing I have my phone right here to look. Let's run it. Let's run these disc records. Yeah. Create a gang. FOPE disc. For our people's ignorance. Salute Malachi Maccabee, Cosmon Cal, Bronze Yogi, Yah. Create a gang. Peace to the goddesses. We gonna set the record straight. I know these clowns ain't folk, man, they a fucking joke. Naphtali tried to explain the Ark of Noah's boat. Malachi Maccabee exposed the whole shit as a hoax. She had the nerve to say the earth is 6,000 years old. And tried to use Gobekli Tepe for the Ark of Noah. What you ought to know, your sources got burned like an arsenal. So pack it up and throw them scripts in the trash. Your God gets stoned to death for prophecies not coming to pass. Like America's supposed to get hit with the nuclear blast. 24 years later, we look back at you niggas and laugh. I should pick rocks and stone you niggas myself. Throw you in a lake of fire, watch your skin start to melt. Shawshan be the first to get blamed. When I heard the shots, look, left his people and ran. Damn. K. Judah, you feel to be a shooter. You not a teacher, you a tutor, hiding behind computers. Naphtali, you not ready for Mali. He exposed to go for wood from the Ark, come out of Cali. Long Beach, Naphtali better run a retreat. Your champion looking bad on these YouTube streets. When I waving the white flag as a sign of defeat. Bow down like Jehu and kiss the boot of my feet, nigga. Your Messiah can't save shit. Where was the Messiah when we was changing them slave ships? Praying to a God to return ain't say shit. The God of war got you niggas stuck in a slave pit. Talking about that's prophecy. More like propaganda from a false God democracy. FOP for our people's edification. You not edifying, but lying to the Israelite nation. Think you following God when you following Satan. Stiff-necked and stubborn like them goddamn Jamaicans. Come against Creator, gang, your doctrine's dying. When Mali cut Naphtali, she almost started crying. She ran to her husband and screamed, baby, I'm trying. That's what happens when you put a pussycat against a lion. Yeah, Creator gang is undefeated. FOP is washed up. I put y'all goddess on the front line and she got her head blown off. Creator gang is undefeated. We out of here. Creator gang is undefeated. I keep it real, pack to steal it, whoever want it. clap. Judah be running laps when he get confronted. Got Devil Cosmogony knock you off of 500. They hit the club, roll up a Judah dub, forever blunted. Contemplating on who we gonna take out next. Got Cosmo, Cal, Malik, Mac, and be the best. The 4 horsemen who understand the business. Contract killers won't hesitate to kill a witness. 21 bodies executed on my hit list. JJ trying to watch me, trying to take pictures. Yara working with woods and paint, a bunch of snitches. Peer pressure separate the real from the bitches. Niggas be gang gang until you start to bang bang. Let a nigga brains hang on everybody like dang. You thought it couldn't happen. Yara wouldn't smoke 9/11 Manhattan. Bullets in his breastplate, both lungs collapsing. Hands reaching in the air, for the air he grasped it. The flyer was made, Selah, Shalom, first captain. But the captain ran away, just like if nothing happened. I'm a certified killer. Peel a nigga, cut him open and feed him his own liver. Graphic is how I paint the picture. Shoot shots like a pitcher. Split JJ like a swisher. Cut the head off for the lion's den and watch the rest of the body quiver. Core shots I deliver when it's crunch time on the trigger. Got 2 pair of eagles fly like seagulls when it's time. I scoot out, shoot out. Air out Yara every time. Standing behind enemy lines, killing my enemies every time. Defend the faith like Muslim Sunni soldiers at a shrine. I facilitate thoughts beyond the thoughts of mankind. Create a gang is in the prime while you niggas get left behind. Creative gang is undefeated. Salute, Daryl Cosmo, Cosmo Cal, Malachi Maccabee, and the whole Creative gang. Nigga, we outside with it. All that huffing and puffing don't mean nothing. You step in the dojo. Creative gang is undefeated. Creative gang is undefeated. Know that. Know that. They not like us. Separate the real from the fake is a must. We stand on Creator and no God we trust. Team Kemet got crushed into powder and dust. Woo! Kemet looking bad now. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many men down? Look at us all running, ducking, trying to skip town. Now power one it in. You Hebrew, what you Kemet now? Siding with the people that enslaved your own people now? Chop you up into pieces and throw you in the river now. Reggie right beside you, get ate by Kemetic crocodile. Look, we got them running, covering square miles. Scared to death, what's left? Only to take the crown. Get smashed down on your own stomping ground. We took over like the Hicks on your turf doing a disco. 2-stepping, no half-stepping with the info. You wouldn't even know the book of the dead, bro, if it wasn't for the translation done by my sparrow. Your time's narrow, semi-missiles blow out your arch arrows. Arches down, so goes the pharaoh. I saw reading the glyphs like he an expert, but where he learned that from? This about to hurt. First translation came from Samuel Birch. European Egyptology gave you it first. You couldn't translate a bird to a word without looking up them European definition verbs. Y'all niggas acting like y'all blackity black, fronting to the people, man, y'all niggas actually whack. Your pathetic comedic creation meant it's a trap. The blind leading the blind with no actual facts. Shabario Saze, you softer than Sade. Come to find out he followed Yahweh. That was your execution, you par Rosicrucian. Western thought you using, you are quite confusing. Don't know what you doing, how my eye got you moving. Right now you are losing, at your wake I'm viewing. R.I.P. communion, mummy wrapped in ruin. OAHSPE is ruling, science has been proven. All motion moving, you live in an illusion. Who you think you fooling, think you need some schooling. It's like Reggie out here living in a ghost town, walking around like I see dead people around. I don't believe in spirits, but I believe them now. Stuttering Stanley, you can have a seat now.
Stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley. Shut up, you freak.
Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Creator gang is undefeated. Creator gang is undefeated. And it's gonna remain that way. And it's gonna remain that way. That was a blast from the past. Yes, family. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's what niggas get every time they battle create a game. They don't get a record. You know what I mean? We bringing some life into this debate arena. Hip-hop. We the hip-hop generation. You dig? Yes, sir. All right, man. Roll up my big split. Now, in the debate, I actually, being that we was pressed for time, I actually had a round. Like my round in that debate, see, I didn't get a chance to talk about cosmogony in that debate. And the reason for that is I knew that Jabari wasn't going to stick to the topic. I knew he was going to try to attack the author, and he was going to try to attack, the OAHSPE, you know what I'm saying? So I catered my round as a counter react to his argument, and it worked perfectly because he fell right in our trap. If you look at his round, he falls right into our trap, going into John New, Brody, OAHSPE, and then when I came back, I leveled the playing ground by doing what he did. So when you look at my round in the debate, it may seem like it's not on topic. It actually is on topic because one of the topics of the debate was time. So my round deals with a specific timeline, and timeline is dealing with historicity. So the historicity of the timeline that I was dealing with is from the 1600s on down to the 2000s. And when you see the debate, you're going to see what I'm saying. You dig? But essentially, you know what I mean? I had a little quick 2-3 minute round where I was going to go into the cosmogony and then go into banging on them Europeans and shit like that. Being that I knew that my brothers was going to handle those rounds prior to me, like I knew Cosmo was going to do his thing, Mally and Daryl prior to me, so like it don't make no sense for me to go into the cosmogony when basically they're going to be covering what I was going to be saying. So it worked out perfect. See, the creative gang is very strategic over here. Where that goddamn clip at? Hold up, where that clip that I put up? I don't know if y'all seen that clip with the 300 vocals. Sure, real quick. Yeah, uploaded it the other day. This clip right here. I need to lift up the vocals on these joints. Pay attention. Hold up. This is why the creative gang is so effective in a debate format, right here. This reason right here.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength.
Heard that? See that? What do you say?
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit.
That is the source of our strength.
That is the source of our strength. That's why the critic gang is undefeated, because we move as a unit. All y'all move as individuals, thinking y'all gonna take the gang out. Nah, we move as a unit. Y'all never win. Let's run it one more time.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our... We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength.
Exactly, Jabari. Yeah, see, and I told Jabari in the text, I said, you wasn't on topic. And then he replies back, well, you wasn't on topic. I replied back, yeah, because I knew you was going to attack the European dentists. I knew he was going to take that route. So I leveled the playing ground. I was being tactical. You know what I mean? So being that he didn't even stand on his square, he didn't even represent his ancestors. He didn't stand on Atum and Ptah. Those are the earliest early, when you talk about the cosmogony of ancient Kemet, those are the earliest deified figures we're dealing with. Ptah and Atum, depending on where you're getting it from. Where you get the story from. The Memphites had a different story from, I forget the other region of where the other story stems from, but you got two stories. One dealing with Ptah as the head and one dealing with Atum as the head. Jabari didn't touch on there one of it. You know what I mean? Nope. That what Cosmon came out swinging. Bam, bam. You know what I mean? Let's go through this real quick. This is a little what I was going to present. Ja living and the one who's living round. Hold up. Gotta talk so bad up there. 1 second. All right, let's get into it. Y'all see that, right? This was going to be part of my present. You know what I mean? See, and I see that's the beautiful thing about the game. It's not like we stick to a script. If we got to switch up something, if we got to change up something, we do it. You know, my presentation was going to be on Cosmogony, but I had to switch it up to counter to what Jabari was going to come in. And it's a good thing that Sarnetta had those preliminaries beforehand, and they spoke and they showed their hand what they was going to come with. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing when you debating, but you can't let people know your hand like that. Jabari showed his hand, and I knew he was going to come, and that's why I was able to counter it. If you ask the gang, I was supposed to go first. It was supposed to be me, Daryl Cosmon, and Mally, and then Cosmon and Mally. That was the original order. But once we seen how they was playing, we said, nah, Daryl gonna set it off. Mally gonna come behind Daryl. Cosmon and the Selah gonna, you know what I mean? So we strategize, man. Ain't nothing set in stone over here. So now, what is cosmogony? What's the definition? The branch of science that deals with the origin of the universe, especially the solar system. Now, that was one of the main parts of the debate. Daryl Cosmon went into this. He displayed it. Now, what Assar ran with the Big Bang Theory to explain the Kemetic creation. And he failed utterly. The reason why he failed, because everything he presented was subjective. He did not present an objective reality. See, when you present something that is objective, there is no arguing that. If the sky is blue, that's objective. There's no arguing that. It's not how you feel. It's the truth. So Daryl presented objective examples in his realm, while Assar presented subjective examples in his realm. With the branch of science that deals with the origin of the universe, especially the solar system. What is a universe? Definition: the universe is all of space and time, and their contents. The Latin word universe meaning combined into one. So the universe is all of space and all of time. Now look at this. Now look at the coincidence of this. What does una mean? Definition: una is a prefix that means one or single. It comes from the Latin word unus, which also means one. So the universe is one. It's the whole entity. But look what it says about who is Jehovah. OAHSPE Bible, Book of the Ark of Bond, chapter 9, verse 12. Look what it states. Who is Jehovah? Answer: the ever-present. He fills all place and space. Now, when you look at the definition of universe, you see a striking resemblance that the universe states the universe is all of space and time, and that in the OAHSPE states that Jehovah fills all space, all place and space. So synonymously, Jehovah is synonymous with the universe in that department, but Jehovah is ever present, something that is always there. What is the meaning of ever present? Definition: used to describe something that is always there. Something that is always there. What is something that is always there? Here's an example of something that is always there. Your universe. Here's an example of something that is always there. An example of the universe and their component parts. There go your creator right there. Space-time continuum. See that? Now look. The ingredients of the universe. What is the universe made up of? Source, Google. According to most scientific sources, the 10 most abundant elements in the universe are hydrogen, helium, oxygen, carbon, neon, nitrogen, magnesium, silicon, iron, and sulfur. So these are the minerals, the ingredients that exist within the universe, right? The building blocks of creation, periodic table of elements. This is what makes up the universe. This is what makes up the universe. That what makes up the universe. My bad. I feel like they're going crazy. All right, so now look. The building blocks of creation, periodic table of elements. Illustration of an atom cell. This is an atom cell. This is an atom cell. Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon. This is the depiction of the cell, right? Before you can create anything in the universe, you must have the ingredients to create first. So these are your ingredients to creation. Your subatomic parts, atoms, proton, neutrons, electrons. Below those, the quarks. But these are your subatomic parts to creation. And even they resemble a solar system, a vortex. You see the resemblance. The ingredients to creation, Book of Jehovah, chapter 6:5. Observe, O man, as a farmer sows corn in one place, wheat in another, and flax yet in another, everything in a separate place. Here's an example of that. Here's an example of a farm with crops all in their own district, in their own area. Look what Jaja say. Look what Jaja say. Even so do Jehovah store the ingredients of which worlds are made, everything in its place. The substance of iron in one place, the substance of stones in another, the substance of vegetable kingdom in another, and likewise for the substance of all the animal kingdom, and the oils and sand. For he has places in the firmament of heaven for all of them. So here, the Creator is letting you know that everything you have on the earth plane exists in the firmament in a gaseous state. All these elements exist in this state right here. The state of the atom cell. Iron, copper, everything made up physically is made up of minerals, made up of cells. So those are your ingredients to creation. Here's an element, abundance in the universe. Here's an example of these elements in the universe. These elements, ingredients, exist prior to galaxies and solar system forming within the universe. See that? So we're talking about the ingredients to creation. Now notice, we ain't bringing up a deity yet. Now keep that in mind. We're not bringing up a man floating in space creating a deity, a god. No. Now look at this. This is the Creator, the force and power of the universe. How does creation start? The origin. Book of Jehovah 1:1. All was, all is, all ever shall be. The all spoke, and motion was, is, and ever shall be. And being positive was called he and him. The all motion was his speech. What's the definition of the universe? All space and time. Motion, time is subjected to motion. All time is subjected to motion. You cannot have motion. Time would not exist without motion. Without no motion, no time. Hmm? Look at your clock. When the time is moving, it's motion. You put it on a stop, there's no motion. Motion dictates time. Right? So this is the book of Jehovah, chapter 1, verse 1. Notice Jehovah didn't say he a God. Nowhere in that verse referenced a man. It referenced all. And then it said the all spoke and motion was. So there is no man. The voice of the creator is motion. The origin of creation within the universe is motion. Here's the proof. Book of Jehovah 3:6. For each and every corporeal world, I created a vortex first. So before you can have galaxies or solar systems within the universe, you must have motion. And this motion flows in a vortex pattern. Patterns do not lie. What is a vortex? In fluid dynamics, a vortex is a region in a fluid in which the flow revolves around an axis line, which may be straight or curved. Fluid dynamics. In physics, physical chemistry, and engineering, fluid dynamics is a subdiscipline of fluid mechanics that describes the flow of fluid, liquids, and gases. See that? Fluid, liquids, and gases. So it'll show you that this rule is applied to all three of these things. Here's an example. Here you have the vortex as an example. And here you have the hydrogen cell, the oxygen cell, the carbon cell, and the solar system, all displaying one universal order, a central axis and a rotating, orbiting body of electrons, of planets. See that? So here's an example of a vortex, a hydrogen, oxygen, and a carbon cell in our solar system. A cell has protons and neutrons at the center, like a sun, and the electrons orbit around like planets. If the vortex did not exist, the cellular structure of a cell cannot exist. And likewise with the galaxy and the solar system, and a hurricane and tornado, they cannot exist without the vortex first. See that? In order to bake a cake, you got to mix the ingredients in a rotating motion. In order to create, you got to mix the ingredients in a rotating motion. See that? See that? In order to create, you got to rotate in motion. Let me see right quick if I can find that video of Daryl Cosmogony when he showed that example. Watch this. Yeah, we're going to get to it. He did an experimentation where he's going to show you these rules. There it is right here. Now watch this. Look at this. Now, piggybacking real quick. Now, like I was saying, in order to bake a cake, you gotta throw the ingredients in there and you gotta rotate. You gotta mix it up. Now, here's an example that Daryl Cosmogony did. Here is a scientific experiment that our brother Daryl Cosmogony did to prove that vortex motion is the driving force to combining matter. Now, at this portion of at this point, what you're looking at is the ingredients to creation. You're looking at the raw abstract elements without them having any form yet. What you're looking at right here is the equivalent of looking at this. Let me go back up. Let me show you the equivalent of what you're looking at. This is the equivalent of what you're looking at right here. You see the gaseous space? You see the gaseous clouds? Prior to their coming together, prior to them giving motion to create, these are the raw ingredients in raw form. That's what this is, raw ingredients in raw form prior to them creating worlds, right? So that's the raw ingredients. And then when you take them raw ingredients, you got to do what? You got to give it a rotary, a spin. They go to spin, right? Let me come back up right here. In order to bake a cake, you got to mix the ingredients in a rotating motion. See that? They go to rotating motion. Here's the vortex following that same rotating motion. And here we got Daryl Cosmogony. I'm about to show you a scientific experiment. This was done in the debate. The only person in the debate who showed a scientific experiment to prove vortexia. Now watch this. So those are the ingredients. Remember the ingredients, the iron, the substance, all the minerals. That's in a raw form. Now when Jehovah says what? Jehovah said, I gave motion, I gave a vortex in order to create worlds. Now watch what happens when Daryl gives this raw ingredients a vortex. See that? Same rules apply. Daryl produced the vortex. Now, what do you see? What are the herbs doing? The herbs are being driven to the center of the vortex. At the center of the vortex is where the celestial body is produced, where the sun, moon, star, planet. What's happening? What happened to the ingredients? You see that? They condensed into a ball. Matter is made through vortexia. Energy of that matter is driven to the center of the mass of the matter, storing the energy inside the matter. That's how energy is stored in matter, through the vortex, driving it in the center. Look at that. What do you see? A ball. A ball, the same ingredients that was once scattered, once given a vortex, a rotary, it condensed in the center, producing what? A ball. There go your planet right there. There go your sun, your moon, your star, all follow the same principles. If you're looking up in the night sky and you see a star, a moon, a planet, it's following these rules right here, vortexia. It's an invisible force spinning, which is responsible for producing. Look at that. From another angle. See that? Kemet ain't show you this. OAHSPE is giving you scientific experiments to do to prove vortexia. Look at that. See that? So the water is acting as the solution, the vortex, while the elements within the solution are being driven to the center, condensing, forming a mass, forming matter. Now look what the book of Jehovah say. Chapter 3, verse 4. By the power of rotation. Didn't we just show you a demonstration of rotation? By the power of rotation, swift driving at the peripherals. Swift, now this is key right here. A lot of people overlook this. Swift driving at the peripherals. Now let's go back to the video. This is what it means when it says swift driving at the peripheral. Let me show you what swift driving at the peripheral means. Watch this. You see when Daryl starts spinning? Daryl is spinning on the outskirts of the bowl. That's the peripheral. The outskirts of the bowl is the peripheral. It is the outskirt of the bowl, the peripheral, where the fastest of the vortex is generated. And that motion is driving the rest of the force to the center of the vortex. So look how fast Daryl begins to spin the spatula in the bowl on the outskirts. Notice he's not spinning it in the center of the vortex. He's spinning it along the wall of the vortex. Coming back to the verse, swift driving at the periphery. Here's an example of swift driving at the periphery. Look, see that? He's speeding up. Look how fast Daryl is speeding. He's using the periphery, right? The periphery. That's an example of the periphery right here. By the power of rotation, Daryl is showing you the power of the spin. Swift driving at the periphery, we're showing you the angular part of where the motion is at. It's at the edge on the outskirts of the bowl. That's where the swiftest part. And what happens after that? I condense the atmospheric worlds that float in the firmament, and these become my what? Corporeal worlds. After the swift driving comes what? Condensation. The condensation process takes place after Darrow begins to spin it at the periphery. See that? So the greatest force is going to be on the outs where the bowl is at, on the corners of the bowl. And all the force is being driven to the center. That's how vortexian energy is driven into matter in mass. Right? And that's what produce what? My atmospheric worlds, and these become my corporeal worlds. In the what? In the middle of the vortex, I made them. Made what? The corporeal sun, moon, and stars. And by the power of the vortex, I turned them on their axis. See that? So at the center of the vortex, right here, in the center of a cell, you have proton and neutrons. In the center of a galaxy, you have a sun. In the center of this example that Darrell gave you, have the herbs condensed in a ball. Not a flat disc, but a ball. See that? Our example is showing you global form. Show me an example of a flat earther doing a demonstration to prove a flat disc as a scientific experiment in real time. That's where the game is over. Huh? That's when y'all niggas got to take a seat. I know it hurts. You can't show me an example of vortexian energy creating a flat disc with a central mass. Can't show it. Look at that spinning. Look at that spinning. Don't that look like the universe? Don't that look like this right here? Don't that look like that? What's the difference? Huh? Don't that look like that? A central mass condensed by the vortex, as shown here. The water, the rotary of the water in motion in the vortex produced herbs, made the herbs go in the center to condense, produced a ball. See that? Look what it states. By the power of rotation are galaxies and solar systems created within the universe. So the origin of the universe is motion, not the Big Bang. We just showed that. Ain't no Big Bang. You can't show me an example of Big Bang in real time. We just showed you an example of vortexia. We showed you an example of vortexia in real time to show you what we talking about. OAHSPE got the highest science. Look what Jehovah said. Book of Jehovah, chapter 3, verse 3. The whirlwind I made as a sign to man of the way of my created worlds. This is a whirlwind right here. This galaxy you're looking at is a whirlwind. That galaxy you're looking at right there is a hurricane. It's the same force and power. The same force and power to create is the same force and power to destroy. There go the whirlwind right there. Side view, top view. That's the same thing what you were just looking at. As you see the power of the whirlwind gathering up the dust of the earth and driving it together, know that likewise I bring together the Jaya, Aja, and the nebula in the firmament of heaven. By the power of the whirlwind, I create. Stop. That's very important right there. By the power of the whirlwind, I create. See that? By the power of the whirlwind, I create. And guess what? By the power of the whirlwind, I destroy. The creator is the creator and the destroyer. And he creates and destroys with the same force and power of vortexia. When you're looking at the hurricane and the tornado, what they coming to do? They coming to cleanse. They coming to wipe out, destroy. That's what a hurricane do. Destroy shit. But the vortex of the creation in the firmament creates worlds. Look at that. By the power of the whirlwind, I create the corporeal sun, moon, and stars. So this is no motion. This is motion. Once that vortex is given a motion, once this nebula cloud is given a motion, this is what happens right here. No motion, motion. What did Jehovah say? The all was, is, and never shall be. The all motion spoke. So this is the all was, is, and ever shall be. That's this right here. No motion. The ingredients to the cosmos. That which has always been. Elements has always been in creation. There can't no man put a pinpoint when hydrogen occurred. It's always been here. But when these raw ingredients are put in a bowl, before they get the mixing, they just sitting there, no motion. Once you give that bowl that rotation, once you get the stirring and mixing the ingredients, this is what happens. Motion occurs. Creation begins. When you mix that cake, creation begins. The making of a cake begins. See that? Picture of Andromeda, 1888, before CGI. CGI came out in 1958 because you got a lot of cats that like to play games. So before CGI came out, we still see the same force of power. This is the constellation Andromeda. And what do you see? The vortex around it, and you see the central sun. And this is dated. This is dated December 29th, 1888. So we're not going to act like this vortex is not this is not a theory. This is not Vortexian theory. This is Vortexian mathematics. Peace, God. This is Vortexian mathematics right here. Creation of the sun. How was the sun created? How was the sun created according to the Egyptian text? Ra is the sun, a deity. Notice your boy ain't pull out no deified figures yet. I ain't show you the face of the creator. I ain't show you the figure of the creator. I showed you the function of the creator. See that? It's a difference. Look at this. What is cosmogony? The branch of science that deals with the origin of the universe, especially the solar system. The solar system is the sun and its planets. So what is the origin of the sun? Let's read a source, two sources. First source, space.com. Many scientists think the sun and the rest of the solar system formed from a what? A giant rotating cloud of what? Gas and dust. Key point here, rotating cloud of gas and dust. Rotating. See that? How did the rotating begin? These scientists are thinking that the sun was created by rotating clouds of gas and dust. But the key is, how did the rotating begin? That rotating is the vortex, known as the solar nebula, space.com. There's another source, Botanica. Solar nebula. What is a solar nebula? Gaseous clouds. Now, when I scroll back up, right? When I scroll back up, is this not a gaseous cloud? Is this not a solar nebula? A gaseous cloud, right? But you remember, they said the sun is a giant rotating gas of dust. This is a giant rotating gas of dust. See, even the science line up with the OAHSPE. We're not talking about no Kepa-Ra, Amun-Ra, Ptah. We talk about real science. And the OAHSPE is backed by it. Solar nebula, gaseous cloud, from which in the so-called nebula hypothesis of the origin of the solar system, the sun and planets formed by condensation. See that? Britannica. Now, what does the Book of Jehovah say? Book of Jehovah, chapter 4:15. First as vapor, the vortex carries it forth. What is vapor? Vapor is gas. So first as gas, the vortex, which is motion, carries it forth. And as it what? Condenses. Didn't the article just say planets are formed by condensation? What is the OAHSPE saying? Condenses, its friction engenders heat, and it is molten, becoming as what? A globe of fire in heaven. That's what the sun is. The sun is a globe of fire. So right here in the OAHSPE is showing you how a globe of fire is produced by gaseous vapors rotating and condensing in the center of the vortex. That's what the scientists don't got. The scientist is missing the vortex. We ahead of the scientists. That's why it may seem strange to some of you who have a hard time with this vortex. Because today's scientists don't even got it. We ahead of the game. We ahead of the scientists. Book of Jehovah 3:7. To make the sun, I created a great vortex. And within this vortex and subject to it, I made the vortices of many of the corporeal worlds. The sun's vortex I caused to what? Rotate. The sun's vortex I caused to rotate. Didn't we just read the article that the scientist hypothesis stated that the origin of the solar system was a giant rotating gas of dust and cloud? The sun vortex I caused to rotate, and I gave it power to carry other vortices within it. Power is determined by the force of motion. According to their density and position, they are thus carried forth and around the sun. Here's an example of that. The same way the planets are orbiting and subject to the sun is the same way the sun is orbiting and subjected to the galactic center or Milky Way. Here's an example of that. Here's the galactic center, and here you see our sun right here orbiting the galactic center the same way our Earth orbits the solar system. So you have vortices within vortices within vortices. Book of Cosmogony 133. The Earth's vortex is a sub-vortex existing within the sun's vortex. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and so on are corporeal worlds, and each and all of them are within vortices, being sub-vortices also. So they're letting you know that the sun's vortex created sub-vortices, which are the planet's vortex. See that? So here's an example. Hush. So here's an example with the oxygen cell. The oxygen cell, the protons and the neutrons will play as the sun, while the spinning electrons will play as the planets. So you even see that example within the sun. Now look, the atom cell follows the same rules. Hush. Muffin, hush. You have the neutrons and protons in the center as a sun, and you have the electrons orbiting the neutrons and protons like planets. And the combination of all these subvortices within and including the sun's vortex is known by the names Great Serpent, hush, or Solar Felix, for which reason the sun's vortex was called the Master, the Mazda, or Mazda, the Master light, because he's the solar energy. That's the main battery. That's the main frame. But notice it says the name Great Serpent. We see the term Great Serpent in the Bible, that great serpent, that old dragon called the devil. But here in the OAHSPE, the great serpent has a cosmological understanding. Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy 1:1. The same rules apply to all stars, suns, planets, and moons. And here's an example of that. You see that vortex and central suns, one universal order. Book of Selah. Jehovah said, the sun I made as the head of a serpent, and his felix I made as the body of a serpent. Thus I made the great corporeal serpent. Now, in the OAHSPE, the serpent is referenced to the solar system. But in the Bible, right? Yeah. In the Bible, we have mention of the serpent. See this? It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord has made. So in the Bible, your outlook of the serpent is a land creature. Some people say that this serpent is a walking, talking reptile. Some people say that this is a man with a slick tongue. You know what I mean? You have different interpretations, everybody leaning on their own understanding. But let's hit the Strong's Concordance and see what the word means in the Hebrew. Serpent, when we hit it, what is it referencing? Nahash. And look what it states. Serpent, snake, serpent, image of a serpent, fleeing serpent. It really doesn't give a reference to an individual, to a man. And then we see serpent in where is it? In Revelation. Let me get to that one. It talks about the great serpent. Right here in Revelations. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. So in the biblical understanding, when you think of serpent, you're thinking of the devil. You're thinking of the devil, you're thinking of Satan, you're thinking of all these things, which is right, understanding it from the biblical perspective. So when you hear something like this in the OAHSPE, when you read the son I made as the head of a great serpent, the first thing that comes to your mind is the Bible. Oh, the serpent. You know the serpent in the Garden of Eden? Oh, you know the serpent in the great... your subconscious start going there with it, right? But in the OAHSPE, it's describing the solar system as a serpent based off the motion of the serpent. See that? Like I said, this is a cosmological understanding. So the serpent, when you look at a snake move, it winds, it coils. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can. That right there is an example of a snake moving right there. So we just take a quick look. You see how the snake is moving? Right to left, left to right. See how that snake coiling? Guess what? It's the reason why Jehovah said the solar. See how that snake coiling? Left to right, right to left. Now it's a reason for that. See, the creator is genius. We got to catch up. The creator described one of his lowest creatures, the serpent. As you say in the Bible, the serpent was cursed and had to fall in his belly. The lowest of creatures, right? The creator is using it as an example for a cosmological understanding. Left, right, left, right. You see it moving, right? So now, you see the example on here. So now, here's the answer for that. Why does the OAHSPE reference the solar system, the great serpent? It's because of its motion. Moving like a wave, which is the flow of vortexian current. See that? They're riding, you ever heard the term riding the wave? The serpent is riding the wave. The solar system is riding the wave. Now look at this. I want y'all to pay attention to this. 12 stunning pictures of the sun clicked over 12 months at the same place. Same time goes viral. A college of 12 pictures of the sun clicked over a 12 period of time at the same place. Now look, this is a picture of the rising sun, right? Clicked, taken at the exact same place for 12 months. And what do you see here? You see the pattern of the motion of the sun. The sun is not rising and setting in the same place throughout the year. It's moving. Now, if you look at the picture on the left, it says south at the top. 6 months later, you see it rising at the north. 6 months after that, you see it descending back to the south. That's an arc. That's an arc. 1 year is an arc. An arc, time is measured in arcs. Now, if you look at the picture on the right, those are the 12 months with the seasons added to it. So ain't nothing missed. Now you understand. When you look at the picture on the right, you're going to understand. Spring has 3 months, summer has 3 months, fall has 3 months, and winter has 3 months, which gives you a cycle a year. So look at this. Look at the moon during spring. It's rising. Look at the moon during summer. It's at its peak. Look at the moon during fall. What do you think they call it fall? Because the sun is descending. And look at winter. It's going back to its place of origin to start where it begins in fall. And this is called what? The solstice. A solstice is the time when the sun reaches its mostly northerly or southerly excursion. This is a solstice. A solstice flows in an arc. Nobody ever told you that. Ain't nobody bringing this out but the game. There go your serpent in the sky right there. It's moving, coursing like a serpent or a snake, right? Look what it states. Sun's path, sometimes also called day arc, refers to the daily and seasonal arc, like path that the sun appears to follow across the sky as the earth rotates and orbits the sun. So these are seasonal arcs, day arcs, right? Coming back up here. It's an arc. This is 1 year right here. And in 1 year, the sun winds. It moves like that snake. Let's go back to that snake. See that? It's doing the same thing the snake is doing. 1, 2, nigga, that's a year right there what that snake just did. From top to bottom, like a wave. That was a year. But the motion of the solar system is the same way it moves as a snake. Let's show you some more. Now look at this. The book of Cosmogony, time is measured in arcs. We just gave you an example of the sun has a day arc, a seasonal arc. Book of Cosmogony, book of synopsis of 16 cycles, chapter 2, verse 2. Second, the sun with his family plies in a large circuit, which is divided into 1,500 arcs, the distance of which for each arc is about 3,000 years or one cycle. So here, OAHSPE references arcs. Now this is 2 years, right? Look at this. This is 2 years. 2 years, 24 months of the sun's course. Look at that. Let me bring it back up. Right there. There you go. Look at that. That's 2 years. Those are two arc measures. 2 seasonal arcs right there. See that? So the sun is moving in the manner of a serpent. A snake is winding, moving left to right, or in this instance, north to south, north to south. The same way you see the snake winding here. The same way you see the snake winding here. Look at that. You see the wand? You see the wand? What do you see here? You see the wand? You see the serpent in the sky? Ain't nobody bringing you this information. This is the highest form of the esoteric information because it's proven objectively. I'm not making this up. I'm showing it to you. You don't got to believe me. You know it because you see it. Ain't nobody bringing you this. This is 2 years of the sun's course going from north to south, the solstice. See that? And what do you see here? What do you see here, family? Don't you see the exact same thing? This is an illustration on the left that Jabari tried to make fun of. Tomorrow, where's Venus on this thing? But look at the flow of the solar system in this illustration in the OAHSPE. It is the very exact illustration you see in real time of the solar system, of the sun. And look at, these are mechanical waves. This is how mechanical waves flow. Look how mechanical waves flow, just like the serpent. Look at light waves. Look how light waves flow. Look at the red measure, just like the serpent. One universal law to all vortexian force and current. This is what you call riding the wave. The sun is riding the wave of vortexia in real time. You ain't got to believe nothing I'm telling you. I'm showing it to you. Kemet can't do this. Amun Ra can't do this. Ptah can't do this. Atum can't do this. You remember they believed that Atum created the heavens and the earth the same way the biblical God did. You remember in their creation story, Atum sneezed wind and moisture into existence. You can't validate those things objectively. I'm showing you objective truth that can be proven in real time on the level of science, nature, and cosmogony. Look at the mechanical wave, family, and look at the snake beside it, and then look at the solar system. Look at our sun. Look at the master light. Dwell on this for a minute. This is what I was going to bring out in the debate. See? This is what I was going to bring out in the debate to prove cosmogony. The origin of the universe, which is motion and vortex and current. And that same force and power creates celestial bodies, sun, moon, and stars, planets. But instead, knowing that Jabari was going to do what he did, I had to take the other route. Now look, this is visible light. This is the electromagnetic spectrum. The vibrational frequency of everything in creation, seen and unseen. And what do you see? You see that same wobble, that wave frequency. So all this is frequency, wave frequencies. That's all you're looking at is wave frequencies. And if you notice on the mechanic wave, look at the mechanic wave. What do you see? Let me see who see. What do you see? What is the mechanic wave is demonstrating right here? If you look and pay attention to the mechanic wave, what is the mechanic wave demonstrating? What looks like the mechanic wave? Let me show you what looks like the mechanic wave. Watch this. Watch this. See that? See that? What's that, family? That's the DNA strand. That's the DNA strand. The DNA strand and mechanic waves flow in the same format. Look at the waves. Look at the mechanic wave. It moves just like the DNA strand. They were the DNA strand. The same vortexian power, right, is responsible for not only the mechanical wave, but your DNA structure. Now look at light waves. Light waves follow the same rule. Look at light waves. You see the DNA structure in the light waves. Look at the red. Look at the red frequency. It's the same frequency as a mechanical wave. Same thing as what? The DNA. On the DNA level. Look at that. Vortexia. On the DNA level. So we ain't bringing you nothing make-believe. We bring you actual facts. And that's why Jaja say the same principles apply to all the stars, sun, planets, and moons. You know what I mean? That's what I was going to briefly bring out. And then go into beating up the European Egyptologists and showing Jabari that y'all niggas ain't all blackity black like y'all claim to be. And then what's his name tried to use the Big Bang? Cosmo knocked that out the box. Shout out to the gang. The Big Bang can be used as proof for an article of faith between religion and science. George Lemaitre, Pope Pius XII, and the Big Bang Theory. This was the dagger that took down Asa after his round. Malachi Maccabee came through and gave him that dagger. Hold on, fam. Look at that. Look what they say here. Yo, from the introduction section of the article. George Lemaitre, 1894-1966, was a Belgian priest and a brilliant physicist who in 1931 developed the innovative hypothesis that the universe once must have had a beginning. Now, we just went through that beginning, or we just explained it just now, that vortexian energy. So he ain't noticed, in that it has expanded from a single infinitesimal small point which he called primeval Adam. Later, and that's what they try to say is atom. Later on, this would become known as the Big Bang Theory. You see that? You see that? What's his name? Asa. Let me show you who you was piggybacking off of. Y'all love to talk about John New, bro. We copying the crack and all that. But this who you following. That's who you following right there. That's who gave you your Big Bang Theory. Somewhat. See that? Yeah, so we're going to fall back on that. All that blackity black. Right? So again, George Latimer, Lemaitre, how do you pronounce his name? Lemaitre, was a Belgian priest and a brilliant physicist who in 1931 developed the innovative hypothesis that the universe once must have had a beginning and that it had expanded from a singular infinitesimal small point, which he called primeval Adam. Later on, this would become known as the Big Bang Theory. So this Big Bang Theory is what the whole world is following. Even the biblical, from the biblical to the Kemetic, they following a Big Bang Theory produced by this guy. Produced by this guy. This guy got the whole world in religion believing in the Big Bang Theory, which was a innovative thought in his mind. In 1951, Pope Pius XII held a speech in which he saw in Lemaitre's theory a scientific confirmation of the Christian doctrine of creation. So he's saying his Big Bang Theory is a confirmation for the doctrine of creation, the 7-day creation story. Surprisingly enough, Lemaitre opposed this official statement. He opposed it, right? This official statement of the Pope. He said, is this what he said? He even traveled to the Vatican in order to convince the Pope, and with success, look what he say, to stop advancing his theory as a proof of the creation stories of Genesis. See that? He's telling you, yo, stop. What you doing? Don't take my hypothesis, my wishful thinking, and use it as scientific proof for the creation story. He came to the Pope and stopped him. According to Lemaitre, a cosmological theory, which is always a hypothetical and provisional, can never be used as proof. Can never be used as proof, nor as a refutation of an article of faith. So here, the Big Bang Theory, throw it in the garbage. See that? He defended the theological position that it would be wrong to reduce God to a scientific hypothesis. Look at that. Source between religion and science. Yeah, man, that's a cut. That's a cut. That's a cut right there. But when we come back to the OAHSPE, the book that they love to hate, the OAHSPE shows you and demonstrates how worlds are created. How? By mixing that ingredient. They mix. Let's get another example. Do we still got the video from Devil Cosmon with the mixing the ingredients? Let's go back. Let's go back to real-time example right here, man. In the beginning, God poured the ingredients into a bowl. And then after God poured the ingredients into a bowl, he took a spatula. And then God started rotating the spatula in his hand. And there came the vortex. Swift driving at the peripheral, the vortex was speeding up faster and faster, condensing the minerals toward the center of the vortex as God's hand, the copper-colored God hand, whips quickly. Swiftly the hand of God, and now God leaves the vortex to independently produce based off the spin. So there you have it. Here you have a scientific example of the origin of creation in the universe, by motion, which is vortex, by the ingredients, which is the minerals, the atoms, the elements. These things conglomerate, amalgamate in the center of the vortex, producing mass, producing a ball, producing corpor, producing matter. Nigga, we just demonstrated the origin of the universe with a scientific experiment. Who else could do that? Where Bible at? Where Kemet at? Where the Muslims? Who else could do this and back it with their scriptures? Like we could back it with OAHSPE. See that? If your God was creating a world, he would have to do it. He would have had to do it just like Daryl did. He would have had to take that spatula and get the whipping, working at wrist. That's why niggas so good at cooking coke. Nigga, we know how to work that vortex. We know how to whip up that shit in the kitchen. Whip up the coke. Because we know how to work. We the vortex kings when it comes to that. Whipping the wrist. Look at my wrist. Look at that. Huh? Look what the whipping of the wrist do. There it is. So yeah, family. That's without a shadow of a doubt, man. That's without a shadow of a doubt right there. You can't disprove vortex here. Let's go into the comedic diss track real quick. Let's run it. Let's
Create a gang is undefeated. Create a gang is undefeated. Know that. Know that. They not like us. Separate the real from the fake is a must. We stand on creator and no God we trust. Team Kemet got crushed into powder and dust. Woo! Kemet looking bad now. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many men down? Look at us all running, ducking, trying to skip town. Now power one it in. You Hebrew, what you Kemet now? Siding with the people that enslaved your own people now? Chop you up into pieces and throw you in the river now. Reggie right beside you, get ate by Kemetic crocodile. Look, we got them running, covering square miles. Scared to death, what's left only to take the crown. Get smashed down on your own stomping ground. We took over like the Hicks on your turf doing a disco. 2-stepping, no half-stepping with the info. You wouldn't even know the book of the dead, bro, if it wasn't for the translation done by my sparrow. Your time's narrow, semi-missiles blow out your arch arrows. Arches down, so goes the pharaoh. I saw him reading the glyphs like he an expert, but where he learned that from? This about to hurt. First translation came from Samuel Birch. European Egyptology gave you it first. You couldn't translate a bird to a word without looking up them European definition verbs. Y'all niggas acting like y'all blackity black, frontin' to the people, man, y'all niggas actually whack. Your pathetic comedic creation meant it's a trap. The blind leading the blind with no actual facts. Shabario Saze, you softer than Sade. Come to find out he followed Yahweh. That was your execution, you par Rosicrucian. Western thought you using, you are quite confusing. Don't know what you doing, how my eye got you moving. Right now you are losing, at your wake I'm viewing. R.I.P. communion, mummy wrapped in ruin. OAHSPE is ruling, science has been proven. All motion moving, you live in an illusion. Who you think you fooling, think you need some schooling. It's like Reggie out here living in a ghost town, walking around like
I see dead people.
people around. I don't believe in spirits, but I believe them now. Stuttering Stanley, you can have a seat now.
Stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley. Shut up, you freak!
Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Create a gang is undefeated. Create a gang is undefeated. And it's gonna remain that way. And it's gonna remain that way.
Hey, let me tell you something, y'all ready? When I first started rapping, my first influential rapper was Eazy-E, my nigga. Eazy-E and Snoop Dogg. When I first started rapping in like 91, 92. I was influenced by some West Coast shit. You would have never known that with the way I go in. But yeah, fam, you know what I mean? So right there, I just proved the origin of the universe is motion. Without motion, you cannot have time. Motion determines time, and all motion flows in that vortex. Remember when I showed you the example of the leaves and how the leaves flow in the vortex? When the power was like, where's this mysterious vortex coming from? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All things flow in vortex of motion. Everything is the vortex, my lord. Let me show you now. Everything flows in a blood cleat vortex, yeah? As we showed on the previous episode. See? Look, a vortex. Remember when we showed that? Remember when the par raised the question, where is this mysterious vortex coming from? There you go. It proves itself. I ain't got to say too much. That proves itself how the wind blows. The wind blows in circles. See that? Look how the leaves are damn near staying condensed in the center. They're blowing and coming right back to that center. Look at that. Look how the vortex is controlling the leaves and keeping them centered. It'll scatter out and it'll come right back to its center. It's almost like a goddamn spirit doing that shit. Even when the ancestors coming in of 10, it's vortex here. Look at that. Look at all them leaves is spinning in one area. Look at that. Come on, man. That's vortex right there and before your eyes. That's the wind blowing. Look, it's even kicking up. It's about to start taking in. So yeah, all things flows in vortex here, bro. It ain't too much, you know what I mean, to disprove right there. That's proven facts. That's proven facts, fam. You know what I mean? But I just want to hop on for a second, family, and, you know what I mean, drop some information, drop some light to the people. You know what I mean? But your boy Selah Shalom is about to push up out of here. Got a couple things I got to do. So until next time, peace, love, and light. Peace to the gang. I see you, family, in the chat. We up out of here like last year. Let's run it. Let's run it.